You can buy 5 of AMD's new Threadripper 32-core CPUs and pocket $1,000 for the same price of Intel's flagship 28-core CPU, which not only has less cores but lower clock speeds. Welcome to Hari's Hobbies. So first of all, this is a leak, but it's coming from a very reputable source, VideoCards, who have gotten a lot of things right in the past. And honestly, I think we all expected this type of pricing from AMD for their new Threadripper 2 CPUs. And so, while this is just a leak and not official, it really kind of is. Now, there may be some small clock speed variations by a couple of gigahertz, and the price may be a couple of $100 more, maybe up to $2,000. But the main principle still remains. You can get multiple of these better CPUs from AMD instead of just one single worse CPU from Intel. This type of disparity should never exist, period. You shouldn't even be able to get 2 better CPUs for the price of 1, not to mention multiple. And so this really shows how Intel has been screwing us over for the last many years, and it is nice that AMD is finally clearing this up. And here's what they are offering, starting off with the 2920X, which is a 12-core 24-thread CPU with a base clock of 3.5 GHz and a max turbo clock of 4.3 GHz and a TDP of 180 watts and a price of $650. Now this is pretty much identical with the 1920X, except for it has a 0.3 GHz faster turbo speed and it is coming in at $150 cheaper on release. Next up is the 2950X, which is a 16-core CPU and 32 threads with a base clock of 3.5 GHz and a max turbo clock of 4.4 GHz, coming in at 180 watts with a TDP and $900. Now again, this is pretty much identical with the past generation 1950X, with its base being 0.1 GHz faster and its boost being 0.4 GHz faster, so pretty much identical. And right now, you can actually get a 1950X on Newegg for $779, so this is nothing groundbreaking, but it is a nice little upgrade. Next up is the 2970WX. This CPU is supposed to have 24 cores, 48 threads with a base clock of 3.0 GHz and a max turbo frequency of 4.2 GHz. It is supposed to consume 250 watts and it comes in at a price of $1,300. Now, if you take a look at Intel's equivalent in terms of cores, its base frequency is actually 0.5 GHz lower and its boost frequency is 0.9 GHz lower, yet it costs almost 5 times more at $5,000. Finally is the 2990WX, with 32 cores and 64 threads with a base clock of 3.0 GHz and a max turbo frequency of 4.2 GHz with a TDP of 250 watts, coming in at $1,800. You can't even get an Intel CPU with this amount of cores. The closest that you can get is a 28-core CPU, and that comes in at $10,000. And what's nice is that Infinity Fabric technology from AMD is really showing here, because AMD is able to offer us scalable prices. For example, we can get 12 cores for $650 and 24 cores for $1,300, and we can get 16 cores for $900 and 32 cores for $1,800. So that's really nice that AMD is able to offer such lenient pricing with their high core count CPUs as well. So in the end, this really just shows how badly we've been ripped off by Intel, because such huge strides in the CPU market are just not possible for AMD in just a couple of years. So obviously, this type of technology was not that hard to attain, and Intel was just holding it back from us and offering us really overpriced CPUs instead. Intel has been working on CPUs for many years and they are much more well established than AMD. So if AMD is able to do it, Intel is able to do it better, and Intel has just been choosing not to do it. After all, it is really just sand and silicon, and it just comes down to the development costs. So really, the truth is that Intel has not just been ripping us off, they have been like trolling us. Even now, their flagship 7980XE costs $1,879 and it only has 18 cores. You can almost get double the amount of cores for a lower price from AMD. These types of price advancements don't just happen overnight. Now, there is no reason to be mad at Intel because they simply had a monopoly and took advantage of it. We should simply be grateful that AMD is bringing in such great competition and hopeful that Intel will be more competitive in the future. And hopefully, we will have 2 great options to choose from in the very imminent future. But that's all I have for you guys this time. How do you guys feel about the CPU market right now? Make sure to comment down below what you guys think, because I do read all my comments and I'm curious as to what you guys think, so make sure to post your thoughts. Also, if you guys like this video, then make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos just like this one. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.